This sounds like an incredible concept. It sounds like a great product. It's a great service. It's a great offering, whatever kind of terminology you might want to use. And I think we could use all of those for what we're talking about here. And that's really cool. There's a lot of interesting things here. I think that I get to listen to a lot of ideas, and this one actually feels like it feels great. It feels like a really good concept. You can relate it to something that's out there. It's a need. It's got a lot of differentiation. I do think at some point it gets copied, just like you said. There's 10 different eyelash companies. That's when the work gets really, really hard, and because now it's going to be everybody competing for what we would call a race to the bottom. Getting to preference and finding the right targets and all of that stuff is hard work. I think a lot of people consider marketing to be the arts and crafts department, the place where you color things. Our firm looks at marketing as a linear process. It is a lot of people would say, I want this to be super successful. I want to be able to have 35 people come in a day. I want in the course of 15 months, I want 3 of these locations open. I want them all successful. I want to be so targeted and so have an audience that's that engaged that we can start expanding this into other locations. That's your dream. That's your vision. What we do at Rogue is we sit strategically in the middle of this linear process that we would call marketing. And so what you need is you need to have insights that then lead to strategy that then lead to the execution. We're talking a lot about the execution. I believe that you and your partners have a fair amount of insight in as far as like I understand this product, I understand maybe how to sell it as a franchise, I understand women and their needs, and then there's a lot of other insight that can be gleaned from some of the competitors you're talking about. What it's like, there's just a lot of other insight that needs to be gathered. And there's another component of this that even though it is maybe less expensive to go a digital route to try to attract the right people to your, it's cheaper than, let's call it radio, billboards, television. It doesn't mean it's cheap. As I'm looking at the budget and what you've allocated, what I'm seeing is that there's not enough dollars to get you to where you'd like to go. There are a lot of different aspects and components in this, and what you mentioned was that this is kind of your firm budget. So there's a little bit more insights that need to be gathered, and I think you're going to always kind of come against like I don't think this should be $20,000. I don't think we should spend $5,000 in paid media. But what my company does is we spend a lot of time trying to figure out what is your minimum threshold to success. If you're not going to spend this kind of money, whatever that dollar amount is, then you're kind of you're wasting money more than investing it. You don't want to go in and spend all this money and then have this amount that you think is like this is a really large number. I don't look at us as it's not coloring, it's not arts and crafts, it's not all that stuff. It is targeted, it is science, it is linear walking through this, it's looking at what the data says, it's bidding and doing real-time stock trading, if you will, to make sure that your posts are getting to the right people at the right times. All of that stuff is it's more complicated than a lot of people give it credit for.